Today's episode will be a bit of a long one, and it might be a little bit messy one, but eventually we do get there. It all depends on how I edit this, honestly. Today we're going to be adding chests to our system. I've just added a couple here from Quixel, and I've scaled them differently to illustrate size. So this one has 5 slots, 3 in width, 5 slots. This one has 20 slots, I believe, 5, 10, 15. Okay, that's 15 slots, whatever. And yeah, we have the chests here. And the reason this is going to be long is because we're implementing the full functionality on our chests. And by full, I mean everything. We are implementing save. So if we close this out now, and I click escape and I click play again, we got our inventories updated and our chests have saved accordingly, and then load it up again. Again, I warn you, this might be a little bit of a long video if I don't decide to cut it up into portions, which I might honestly do. We'll see. And yeah, let's get right into it. The first thing that we are going to do is we're going to set up a chest. So let's head over to our inventory. I'm going to create a new folder here. I'm going to call it one chest. Open that up. Right click, select a new blueprint class of type actor. It's going to be BP chest. Once we're done, you can make children out of this one, basically, and then make as many chests as you want. Open it up, and the very first thing we need to do is add a static mesh that we can interact with. On this one, I am actually going to use a thing that I downloaded from Quixel to make it look a little bit nicer. And if you do that, you have to make sure that you have collision on it. So on this one, I'm just going to add a simple box collision and blocking that. To make sure that this works, I am going to open our interface, which we are going to add now. So class settings, the interact interface that we made previously. Out from that, I am going to do a simple print string to see if I can actually interact with it. BP chest, put it down there, and it's printing. Awesome. It is a bit tiny though, so let's make it a little bit bigger, like so. What we want to do now is we want to set up we need to make a structure that we can hold our IDs in, and we also need to add a HUD, the interface. So let's do that first. Inside our inventory folder, inside our interface, we have inventory and inventory slot. You want to highlight both of them, left click, drag that over to chest, and then copy. Do not select move, select copy. The WBP inventory, we're going to call this one chest in, and the inventory slot, we're going to call this one chest slot, like so. Then you want to go over to your HUD. So go to the interface and then HUD, and we want to add it here. Just type in chest, inventory, add it to the canvas panel, size that to content, and I'm just going to move it in the middle left. You can hold shift and control, by the way, to move these around and actually center them instantly, like so. After that is done, you can close out the HUD. First thing we need to do when we're interacting is we want to promote this to a variable, because we never know when we're going to need our FBP ref. We're going to make a couple new variables inside our BP chest. The first one is the ID of type integer. We're going to make this one expose and spawn and editable. Second one is our max slots, editable and expose and spawn. Compile and save that so you can edit it right away. I'm going to do a big chest, so this is going to be 20 slots. Next one that we need is our max horizontal slots. Same here, compile, save, and I'm going to do 5 on this big chest. And then we also need to do another one, which is going to be chest contents, which is going to be of type inventory slots structure, the one that we made previously. This one is also going to be editable and exposed and spawn, and it's going to be an array. Compile and save. Grab out your FPP ref and get HUD ref. Out from HUD ref, get chest inventory, and then we need to go into our chest inventory, so control space and into your chest folder, chest inventory. Over here, go to the graph. In here we need a couple variables as well. The first one is our chest contents, inventory slots, array, editable, expose and spawn. And the second one is our chest ref. So that's going to be of type BP chest. Object reference not an array, and we can expose that as well. We're going to set these variables. So out from your chest inventory, set the chest contents to the contents of the inventory that we're in inside the chest that we're in, sorry. After that, let's promote our HUD. I don't think we need to promote our HUD because we actually have full access to it. We don't need that. And then we need to set the chest ref. So set chest ref. And the chest is obviously ourselves. After that, let's make it visible. So get our chest inventory, set visibility to visible. But we also probably want to show our inventory when we are displaying our chest. So let's head over to our HUD ref, copy that over here, get our inventory, and then also set visibility on that. Could we just plug it in there? Yeah, we could. Let's just set both of them to visible. While they are visible, we don't want to be able to move. So get the player controller. Out from that, set input mode, game and UI. And then also set show mouse cursor to be true. Once that is done, you want to get your chest inventory and you want to copy that over, and you want to run the initialize command. Actually, you probably want to run the initialize command before you set anything visible, but it should work just fine. It should work just fine for us. If we click play now, it's already visible, so let's head over to our HUD. Select the chest inventory and set that to hidden. Compile, save, and click play again. Let's test that. Nothing there. However, if I close it, it's still there. So, well, we'll fix that. First thing though, let's actually be able to close the inventory. So let's head over to a content drawer. Type in first person. I'm going to do it where we close our inventory. So over here, we're going to get our HUD ref, get chest inventory, and then set that also to be hidden, like so. Click play. If I open it, it's open. If I close it, it's closed. We need to fix that error though. Let's go over to our WBP chest inventory. On our initialize event, we want to clear the children. That's correct. However, we don't want to fuck around with the inventory here. We want to go for our chest ref, get the chest ref, get the contents of our chest, and that is our new array that we're going to work with, like so. Down here, we're also referencing the chest, so let's get the HUD, get the chest inventory, and then out from the chest inventory, get the chest ref. That is our target, so get max horizontal slots, like so. Hold control and drag that over there. Move this one down. So we are initializing, we're clearing all of it, we're getting the contents, we are looping through that, we're getting everything and populating everything. We are, however, making inventory slots, so let's not do that. We're going to make chest slots. Can delete this slot ref and plug the return value into the content. What we need to do is head over to our BP chest, and in the event graph, over here we can remove begin overlap and the tick and only keep the begin play. we need to get our chest contents, same as we did with the other one. We need to resize this array to fit our max slots, like so. Yeah, so we've got to set our HUD ref over here on, before we set the visibility, let's just move that out. Out from our WBP inventory, we want to set HUD ref, and that HUD ref is going to be the HUD ref that we have here, like so. If I compile and save that, click play, nothing actually works. We still don't have the HUD ref. I am stupid. We are not setting the HUD ref for the inventory like I am currently doing. We are setting it for the chest. So set HUD ref on our chest, remove that one, and plug that in over here. The HUD ref is the HUD ref. If we compile and save, click play, and we got our inventory slots, and they, however, our inventory is not actually firing up, so that is because I removed it here. Let's get our HUD. Out from the HUD, get our inventory, and then plug that into the set visibility again. Compile save, hit play, and now we got everything showing up. I can close it. We can also just do a little test here. If I copy this one by holding Alt, dragging it over, and just rotating it, and let's say this is a tiny chest, so this chest is 5 slots max. However, we also need our horizontal ones to be editable, so let's head over to our chest for a second and expose and editable that one. Back into our map. Max horizontal slots is 3 on this one. It's a tiny chest, right? So we can do 1 in size on those. So this is a big chest. This is a small chest. And it's sizing accordingly. However, if I move an item into it, it's disappearing. Or it's actually, there's weird things happening, right? So we need to fix that. The place we're going to fix it first is our chest. So if we move things into our chest or from our chest and to another chest. So let's head over to our inventory, over to chest, and then we're going to modify the chest slot. This is going to be kind of hard, to be fair. Also, this tick, you probably don't need that anymore. But yeah, our chest slot, we're going to modify the onDrop event. Let's move this one a bit back, like so. And then out from here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to promote this one to a local variable, drag local. Out from drag local, what we're going to check first of all is to get our payload. So let's get our payload and also promote that to local. Payload local. Out from our payload, we are going to check if the payload, get the class of the payload, not that one, get the class of the payload, and check if the payload is equal to the chest slot. So are we moving things in between chests, basically? If we are, then that's awesome. We can do that right away, because if we are, then we're just going to go in here. We're going to edit this thing to be get chest inventory, and then get chest ref, and then get contents of the chest. That is the array for all of these up top here. And we can delete that. And it's also going to be the array for the ones down here. So we can do it like this and do it like that. It's going to be messy, but it's going to work. It's going to work just fine. So if we're moving things, if the payload is from a chest, so if we are inside chests moving things around, then this is what we're going to do. Moving things inside chests. However, if it's not, so if it's not from a chest, that means that it's from an inventory. We want to check that if the item that we're dropping it on is valid, so is it a valid class? Do a branch out from that and then plug that into the false, right? If it is a valid class, so if it's true, then we're going to get our HUD ref. Out from that, get our chest inventory. Out from the chest inventory, get our chest ref. And then get the contents. Want to get a copy of the contents at the index that we're currently at. Honestly, I'm trying to make it better sometimes, but I also don't have the patience for it. In our local variables previously, we made a info holder. Let's give it to this copy here and then plug that into true. After that, we are going to copy this thing and then set array element, size that to fit, break that open, plug it in, and the array element index is our self. The item comes from our dragged items, so let's get that somewhere. So get the dragged local, get the dragged item details, break open that, and then plug the item in and the quantity in. We're not plugging in the index anywhere. We want to get the HUD ref. We want to get the inventory ref. And then we want to get the contents of the inventory. And then we want to set array element to that as well. Like so. Break that open. This is going to be size to fit, of course. The index comes from our dragged item index. The items comes from our info holder. Break that open. And that's the item and the quantity. Like so. After we've done this, we need to initialize. So let's just go up to initialize over here. Let's move this down a little bit. And we also need to create a new initialize over here because we need to initialize the not only the chest, no, not only the inventory, but also the chest, right? So we need to get our HUD ref, get the chest inventory, and then also initialize that. We're going to set the array element of our inventory. Let's get our HUD ref, get the inventory ref, and then get the slot contents of our inventory. That is our target array. Index is going to come from our drag local, so just prompt that down here. The index is from a drag local, and the item is empty, size to fit, no quantity. After that, set the array element of our chest contents, which we have up here. That is our target array. Size that to fit. Break that open. The index is our self. The item comes from our dragged item. Okay, that is actually gonna make. I mean, I need to be better at actually making things look pretty. Okay, I am learning. After that is done, we're just gonna go up to our initialize. Compile and save that and give it a shot. We can move it around. We can have more. We can add this like so. We can move them around. We can move them back again. Okay, we can't move them back again. And that is very simple because we have only fucked around with the chest slot, right? So now we actually have to modify the inventory slot as well to handle this. So this is moving things inside chest. And this is moving things from chest, now from inventory to chest. Let's head over to our interface inventory slot. Open up your graph. And on drop, we're also going to fuck around here and make things look even more horrible than we already have, but that's life. We're going to promote this to a, what local do we have here? We got the item info holder. Okay, we're going to get this local. This is going to be our dragged local. I think that's what we called it in the other one. And then we're going to payload local. We're going to do a test check here as well, a branch. What are we going to check for? Well, we're going to check for if the payload, get the class of the payload, and see if the payload is equal to a inventory slot. If it is a inventory slot, then we're going to move on to our previous code here, and everything should be fine. We can get this drag local and then plug that into the details over here. This does not look good at all, but it's fine. If it's not a inventory slot, so we're dropping it on something that's not equal to ourselves, we're going to, same as before, get the item, check if it's a valid class, do a branch, plug in the false, like so. If it is a valid class, we need to set our info again. So this is going to be moving things inside inventory, get the item info holder, set that, and then get our dragged local. No, we're not going to get our dragged local. We're going to get our HUD ref. Out from our HUD ref, we're going to get inventory ref. And then we're going to get the slot contents. Out from that, we are going to get a copy at our index. And the copy at our index is the new item info holder, which is going into true. After that, we need to set the array element. The array that we're setting is the slot contents. The index we're setting it to is ourself. Break that open. And the item comes from our dragged item. Get dragged item details. Break that open. Item comes from this. The quantity comes from this. Index we're leaving as is. After that, set the array element once more. This time the array is the chest, so we need to get a reference to that. So get our HUD ref, get our inventory, that's a lie, get our chest. Out from chest, get chest again to get the reference, and then get the contents of the chest. Plug that into the target array, like so. The item comes from our local that we have promoted here, so the item info holder. Break that open. Size to fit. Item goes in there. Quantity goes in there. The index comes from our dragged item details, so that's the index, like so. After that, we want to initialize again. Now, here, before we do a initialize of the chest, we need to check that it's valid, because we every time that we close our, every time we initialize our inventory, we don't necessarily have our chest open. So let's get our chest inventory here, and then we do a test, get our chest ref, and then we do a check if it's a valid, if the chest is valid. So if it is valid, we have a chest open, then we can drag out from chest inventory and then initialize the chest and then plug that into true. However, if it's not, then we're still going to promote, give it a true on the return. About save, we need to do the false as well. So the false is set array element. The one that's going to be blank, because we're moving things into our inventory, is the chest contents. So grab the chest contents and put that into target array. Index is coming from our dragged item details. Break open the item, size that to fit. Index is going to be blank. Index is going to be that, and item and quantity is going to be blank. After that, set the array element. The array element index is our self. The array in question is the inventory slot contents, like so. Size that to fit. Break open the item. The item comes from our dragged item, and the quantity comes from our dragged item quantity. Like so. After that is done, we can go back into our initialize. So this is move things inside inventory. This is move things to inventory. From chest. Like so. If we click play now, we got our chest here. We can move it here. We can swap those around as we want, and we can move them back again. We can move it in here, go to the small one, get the stone in. Wood is still here. Stone is still here. However, if we stop the game now, nothing works, right? Because well, nothing works. That's a weird way to say it. It doesn't save. So let's add a save system to this as well.